How's it going? Hope you're doing as good as I'm doing today. Big plans. Big life plans. Crazy shit is happening. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about my lifts today. So it's the end of the volume week, which is always tough. 5 sets on literally everything, especially when there are Olympic lifts, is going to be tough. I've been complaining like a bitch for the majority of this entire week. And, what would you know? Clean and jerk and bench paired together is already hard enough. And now my core is just in tatters. But again, I do my bench day last before I rest after every bench day for the sole purpose of allowing my full core to recover while also not going too hard on my shoulders, because every time my core gets fatigued, like it does on either the third day in a row or on that last day of that week, it always gets to a point where if your core gets tired, the strain is going to go to your main muscle groups. And for me, when it comes to like clean and jerk and stuff, it goes to my shoulders, my elbows, my wrist. It gets a little scary. I literally had a lift today where the bar came loose while I was pushing it over my head, and it squished my calluses in the middle of my hand like a hydraulic press, and committing through that was not fun. It was a bitch, to say the least. But with the help of some homosexual moments and pushing through and having the best mindset that I can do, putting in my best effort, we made it through. And I actually ended better than I started, which is always great. You always want to try to live with the philosophy last at best set, no matter how good your original sets were, because it sets you up for more progress next time and leaves your mentality off with a good rep. Leaving off a workout with a shitty rep is always so bad. If I have a shit rep, I honestly just throw it down and redo it just for the sake of full committing and knowing that I have that shit in me, unless it's like a PR day. If I don't have it, I don't have it. But I'm proud I pushed through regardless. It was nice to kind of lock my core in and get my elbows as high as I could on the last working sets, especially like the 4th and 5th one, so that I wouldn't have as much strain on my shoulders. It's just, and again, the better I do on these tough-ass days where I feel the most strained, especially the fatigue in my low back was pretty high today. Not in an injury risk way, but just one of those days where it felt really striated. But regardless, it was nice to be able to take a little bit of that strain off with the wonderful technique that I've learned over the course of years. So it just goes to show that it is working and it is doing its due diligence with the effort that I've put in. Other than that, bench went, about as good as I thought it was going to go. It's light bench day. I only went up to 75% for 5x4. So it's like, wasn't bad at all. It was just, I was kind of just ready to leave, if I'm being fully honest. I'm driving right now to my mom's place, which is an hour drive. So I was like, damn, I kind of need to go. Need to get my shit together. So I did like all 5 sets within like 15 minutes of each other, just kind of full sending it, which I know for most people that are really good about their rest time is not a lot. But god damn it, I'm a professional yapper. I like talking to my homies as much as physically possible, and I spent like the first 50 minutes of my workout not working out and just shooting the shit with people before I even warmed up. So, but regardless, that's part of the reason why I love the gym so goddamn much. It's a place where everybody just wants to hang out, be homie, be social, be uplifting. It's not too complex. But other than that, physically, I will give it a 7.65. I think that's fair. Wasn't a great day. The warm-ups and the first working sets were definitely tough as fuck on the clean and jerks. But, I'm really proud I pulled through, and I really did the best I had with the technique that I can put in, because it's really hard to commit to the technique especially on the split jerk when you're that fatigued. And the bench, again, it went well. My shoulders were really burnt out from doing clean and jerk and bench in the same fucking day, if you could imagine it. So, again, I'm proud that everything moved well and with good technique. Mentally, I'm not even going to lie to you. I am on top of the world. I'm going to give it a 9.5. I've had way higher mental days, but it's just because there's such a big thing I'm gonna get into it. I'm not trying to edge you guys, but I have such a huge life-changing thing coming up right now that I came to the conclusion to last night that while I've never been this excited for something, or not never, but it's been a while since I've been this excited for something like this. But I also, I think about all the things that I'm gonna miss sometimes, so it gets me a little emotional, makes me a little nostalgic with all the homies. But just to break the fucking ice, I'm moving. If you've been watching for the past couple months, since like February, you would have seen that I've been to Alabama a couple times, working out at the Crunch there, because that's where my girlfriend lives, and she lives with my childhood best friend right now, just by pure fucking coincidence for some reason, just worked out that way for work. And I feel like I've been fighting myself for the majority of the past like 6 months, thinking about like why I shouldn't move, because I got one more year of college left. I was trying to get a job here in Orlando. I got all my gym homies, and the plan was to move in with one of my best friends that I've met while I've been here. But as things got closer and closer to the lease date, my lease ends at the end of May. My best homies are wanting to go do life stuff as well. They're also making big life-changing movements, and I was like, shit, man. Like, do it, but fuck, now I want to do mine even more. And it's great. Not that it's a bad thing at all. I love the fact that my homies are taking the next big steps as well. But it's just, I love that it became an inspiration for me to really look into what I wanted to do with my life and see what would be the best step for me in the long term. And, my whole degree's online. Like, I've been taking my classes online for over a year. Don't get me wrong. It's not a new thing or anything. I just prefer being my own boss with that type of shit, because I don't learn much from lectures, even though that can be controversial. I've tried, and I just do better doing it on my own time, and getting it done as quickly and efficiently as possible. That's just me. And I think college is just about however you can get through it with the best mindset, with whatever education you can take out of it that you can apply to the future of whatever you want to do. So this is just what makes me enjoy college life the most. So if I don't have to be here and I can get a job in Alabama, I already looked it up. There's ABA child therapy centers there that I can fully sign up for. I'm already doing the certification. So it's just a matter of me doing it there instead of here. And the other thing was I'm graduating in a year from college, and I was already planning on moving in with my girlfriend, because anybody fucking knows long distance sucks. Like I tell people all the time, long distance puts no strain on me and my girlfriend's relationship. I have no worry that we will always be together and we will do our thing. Not trying to be cringy, but we're full committed. We're in it for the fucking lifetime. We're gonna die together. That's the mindset that I'm gonna have about it, because that's what I want to do. But I was like, oh, it's fine. We can just wait another year, whatever. And I'll do my master's degree in Alabama. It'll be fine. And most of that, I think, was more pressure from my dad, because he's got a big mindset. He still does, but get into it. But he's always had a big mindset of like, I pay for everything, so you got to do what I say, and you need to stay in Florida. And I'm like, all right, whatever you say. And recently with all the shit that's gone down in my family, not going to get specific, but there's just been a lot where, I've mentioned it before, I've had to mentally disconnect from our relationship. I got to take life into my own hands and support myself. I'm not going to depend on it if it's not going to be able to be there without a big, horrible, toxic relationship. That's just, I don't want to live under someone's thumb for the sake of money. I want to do my thing, and quite frankly, I think it'll make our relationship better to have that distance, so that we can just not worry about the materialistic stuff, and he doesn't have to worry about every fucking step I make. It's just about me doing what will make me happiest, And if I've got money figured out and I'll be fine on my own, then like, I just got to do my thing. And so that was like the main thing that was like pushing me to stay in Florida. And I realized like, the only other thing that was honestly tying me to Florida, other than moving in with my friends, but they're moving now, was my gym homies. And I know some people might not understand that, but the gym homies are such an integral part of my daily lifestyle. They're a huge reason why I love to do what I do every single day. You know, I don't just go to the gym to go to the gym and just work out and that's it. The gym as its own thing, like the homies are such a huge part of it. You know, if I didn't give a shit about that, then I'd be working out in my garage every day, just screaming my fucking head off for the videos. But I'd rather spend time with my homies, you know, and record that. You know, of course I'll miss them to fucking death. I love all my homies, but it's always good to have new scenery and be open to change for the sake of your betterment, you know, new experiences, as long as you know that it's what you want to do. And what makes me so happy with this is, like, every time I bring it up to one of my homies, I've been mentioning it to whoever I run into, everybody's been so supportive. There's not a single person who's just like, no, stay here. They're all like, no, man, good for you. Like, that's awesome. You get to go be with your girlfriend. You'll be with your childhood friend. It's your next step. You'll get to grow even more there. Good for you. We'll keep in contact. And, you know, I'm posting the lifts every day. And I want all my homies to post their lifts so that we can have that little connection and be like, yeah, man, fucking do your thing, you know? Not that our relationship is limited to just social media, but it's just that little bit of support that, you know, I always say, like, you can, like, drop, like, the fucking, you go king or you go queen shit, just for fun. Just so, like, it makes people feel better. Just be like, oh, dude, that was a great fucking squat, you know? It makes me feel like I'm still there at the gym with you, just seeing your lifts, seeing you progress. Because we don't need to be in the gym together. I just want to be able to uplift your lifts and see you do better, you know? So I'm not worried about it. And I've already met so many people in Alabama now, and I'm super excited to get to meet more people. You know, I've met a guy who knows someone who went nationals for Olympic lifting, and I've never known anyone in the competitive Olympic lifting sport. So it's kind of cool to look into. But anyway, I digress. The main thing I was thinking about when making this decision was when it came to the materialistic stuff, like with school, job, whatever, with my dad and that stuff. I was like, okay, well, if I can figure all that stuff out in Alabama, and that's not an issue, then the only thing I need to ensure is that this will be the happiest step that I can make. And what I like to tell people about how I feel about, especially my relationship with my girlfriend, because this is obviously the main reason I'm moving. I'm not throwing any life away to just go be with my girlfriend. She is my person. She is that one unadulterated, unlimited, uncensored, unobligational source of positivity and support, to where, like, if I go to the gym on a really shitty day, I always tell people that makes a shitty day good, you know? She's the only person or other thing in my life that truly makes me feel that way, and she makes me feel so much more that way. You know, I can lose all mobility and all my body parts and not be able to do Olympic lifting anymore and lose that passion and have to move on to something else. And if I get to go home and just, like, be supported by that great of a person in my life, it's a good day. You know, she makes any awful day amazing, whether she knows that or not. She kind of just does it naturally, and that's how it should be. But, you know, I'm not trying to rant too much about my fucking relationship status. But once you know, you know, everybody has it in them to get to that point in their life. Because I have a bit of friends who are like, oh yeah, I'll never have a relationship like that. And I'm like, you absolutely fucking will. It's just a matter of giving it the patience to show up. Because with any passion or love in life, you got to be patient and just keep doing your thing and loving your daily life day by day. And then when it finally pokes through and you get to see that opportunity, you take it and you just run it as long as it makes you happy. And, you know, might not work out the first time, but eventually you will meet that person that just completely supports you in every way humanly possible. And that is the main reason I'm going to move. You know, I actually haven't broke the news to my parents yet, which is fun. And again, like, this is in no disrespectful way, but I'm 21. I'm graduating soon. I've already been taking steps in my own life. My girlfriend and I have lived together before. It's not anything new. But I'm at a point in my life where, in the most respectful way possible, I got to take charge of my life. You know, it shouldn't be up to my parents anymore and what I do. You grow, of course, before you go to college and do your own thing, and even when you're in the beginning years of college, you should listen to all the advice. I'm going to always listen to the advice of my parents, regardless of how old I am. But when it comes to what I truly know that I want to do, regardless of distance, regardless of materialism, regardless of risk, regardless of just being scared of the future, if I know it'll make me happier, then I gotta fucking go for it. And the people that love me most will support that. That's how you know you're in a good relationship. And again, if my dad doesn't want to support it, then I already made that disconnect, you know? I'm gonna do it no matter what. It's up to him if he wants to be that support line with me, you know? If he wants to keep that relationship going in a positive way. But anyway, not trying to fucking trauma dump or anything. I feel like I'm going really hard right now. I'm very excited. I have a fuck ton to talk about. And I'm just excited, you know? It's been a while. Like, the last time I felt like this was when me and my girlfriend convinced my parents to let her move in with me. Because she lived in Gainesville, I lived in Orlando in Florida. And she was on her own, I was doing my thing. And we were like, she wants to make a next step. I'm stuck in Orlando. Like, we want to do it. And we've been together for years. We're good for each other. We bring the best out of each other. We're productive. We don't fuck around. And you know, that's just how it is. And again, when it comes to relationship stuff like that, when like parents are trying to figure out on whether they should let their kids move in with their significant other, obviously, like, it's good to show a good bit of credibility when it comes to like time and stuff and what you've been through. But I think the biggest thing about it is the longer you wait, the longer you're just postponing the inevitable. You know, one of the things my dad said was, what happens when you go to grad school? He said, what happens if she moves in and you start failing your classes and you fuck up college? And I was like, well, yeah, you could say that and live in the what ifs and be worried about the future. And just as much, I could say to you, okay, well, what if we wait? And then when she moves in with me when I graduate and you don't have a say, what if I fuck up master's school and I fail my master's degree? That would be worse. And they were like, fuck, you're right. And I was like, it's just postponing the inevitable. You have to trust that person, you know, and especially I got to trust myself that I'll be able to make my life good for the sake of me and doing the best that I can no matter what. You know, I have no plans on breaking up with my girlfriend ever. I want to spend the rest of my life with her. But as I will never imagine this what if, but I will always live with the mindset that no matter the consequence, if I lose everything materialistically, if I lose my relationship, whatever, I will make life happy. That's up to me. My happiness is my responsibility, so I have to make sure I keep that shit in control. And for my own sake, the only thing you can control in your everyday daily life is how happy you are. It is a mindset to be unhappy. You know, it's not the traumas that are important. Ranting about all of the negative shit you go through isn't going to make you healthier. It's talking about and making moves to get better. What you do to progress through those traumas and become a more positive person because of what you went through. I have gone through so much trauma in my childhood. I'm not going to get specific, and everybody's experience is their own, but regardless of all the trauma I've been through, I'm not going to go back to those people that caused it, because it's typically not the person's fault that went through it. Something else happened that wasn't their fault, and someone else caused it, or something else caused it. But I'm not going to go back to that thing or that person and be like, you have to fix me. That's up to me, you know? And I will live the happiest life I can by taking charge of my own life, and not just my life, but my happiness, my passions, my discipline. Anyway, bit of a fucking rant. I know. I'm going to kind of cut myself off there before I start talking to you guys for a goddamn hour. But I really appreciate anybody who's willing to listen. I love talking about this stuff. And it means the world hearing how you guys are doing and how you guys feel about certain stuff, and just being able to spread positivity in general among you guys, you know? So I'm going to do my best. I hope the best for all of you watching, and I hope that all of you get to take that big step that feels like a risk because of whatever the people have told you and the way you've grown up. But in reality, we both know that you know what will make you happier. Like my homies I was talking to about this the other night when I was making the decision, was like, they literally called me out in there. They were like, you've been talking about this for weeks, if not months, if not a year. You obviously will be happier there. It's just up to you to make that decision, to make the jump. And I was like, fuck, you right. You know, as much advice and support as I want to throw out there to the world, or to my homies, or you guys, or whoever, I gotta try to get it from other people sometimes and get perspective from the people that I interact with every day. So I'm moving forward. I'm gonna do my thing and live the happiest life that I can live. So let me know how your lives have been going, how your lifts have been going. And I seriously appreciate anybody who's sticking around for this shit. Because we will make progress no matter goddamn what, and we will remain happy no matter goddamn what. It's that passion, discipline, and consistency. But also more than that, it's loving what you do. God damn it. Okay, that's all I got. It's my rest day tomorrow, so I'm gonna take a big fat nap tonight and eat my pub sub and be the happiest fat boy I can. And next time you see me, we will be hitting slightly heavier snatch day. Still some volume, but a little bit less. We'll cut down the step volume and get it going. And peak week will hopefully come faster. So I'll see you in 2 days. Bye.